Welcome to Fang Rock, dear. Welcome to season 15.
This rock
We've
got
moved
fangs.
on from racism.
This rock got fangs.
This rock got fangs.
Dude.
We've moved on from racism, and now we moved on to the aristocratic British
So racism.
aristocracy. It's racism again. But, you know, at least the show isn't racist this time. It's just the characters are shitty, and it kind of serves a purpose for them to be shitty. But Fang Rock, Horror of Fang Rock, season 15. We've entered more of the 1970s, but we're still in the late 70s, 77. That's a good year. Good year for things happening. What happens in Horror of Fang Rock, dear?
Fangs. A lot of them, actually.
Actually, there are no fangs.
There are no fangs, it's true. There are no fangs in this rock. However, there's a lighthouse and a big pink tampon in the sky that falls into the sea, and a man with a telescope is like, "Whoo!" And Mr. Wispy Hair comes to look at it, and a third man that has a really big mustache comes up and goes, "The fuck you doing?" And Mustache is like, "Bye, bitch, I'm fucking hungry." And Telescope is like, I can't forget it. And while they're in the water, there's a thing watching the lighthouse. During dinner, they're just kind of talking about how other lighthouses suck. And then oil versus electricity versus coal, blah, blah, blah. Telescope calls down and says there's a fog, and they should worry about it. And everyone goes up to look, and we hear the TARDIS swoosh in, and Telescope is like, oh god, the fog from the tampon. So they set off the siren at the lighthouse, and then the lighthouse goes out, lol. And then Leela doesn't like Brighton and the doctor's like, I don't know where we are. And then, let's just go back to wait, why is there no light in that lighthouse? We should go check it out. But then it starts working again, and everyone is talking again, and the lights come on their own, and they need directions. So like, let's go to the lighthouse. Leela is getting a bad vibe. That's not great. Lighthouse goes out again, and everyone is like, what the fuck? Because it's still running. And Mustache goes down, and then he is attacked. And Wispy is like, this ain't natural. And then the doctor heads into the lighthouse, and he's like, so, what's up? And then they have quips about the size of the TARDIS and what's going on. And then the doctor decides to go down and have a look at the missing man and also repair things. Leah's like, I want your clothing, and then starts to strip. Telescope comes down and goes, wow, you fixed it. And Leela's also coming down, by the way. Her outfit's really cute. But there's a dead body here. So Mustache is dead. So off the doctor and Leela go, knife in tow. Doctor can't find out what actually killed the guy. But he finds a lantern that was crushed. Wispy is also like, oh no, he's dead. And then everyone is a spy. And all other countries are bad. And everyone's a spy. And then also...
That's true.
Apparently, Mustache/Ben will be haunting them. And then the fog rolls back in, and Wispy comes in and goes, Doctor, what the fuck are you doing? And the doctor's like, you think we killed him, didn't you? And he's like, yeah. And Leela wants to hunt the thing.
Yes.
And the doctor wants to go talk about it with Telescope, and Leela sneaks off to kill the thing. Doctor learns from Telescope about the fire tampon. Leela, while outside, finds some dead fish. Wispy comes up and goes, stop fucking talking to this traitor piece of shit. Telescope, and Telescope runs downstairs, and the deadly alien is like scratching around and stuff, and Leela is running around, noticed by the alien thing, and it glows green, and Telescope calls up and goes, oh god, oh no, Ben's gone, and the doctor sees some light outside. That's weird. There's a ship off the rocks, and it's going to hit them, which isn't great, and the lady on the boat is screaming, and then it just kind of like touches the rock a little bit.
A little bit of a rock touchy.
Little touch. Little touch. A little touch. You're just a little touch. Little touch. Little touch.
So, working titles. The Rocks of Doom. The Monster of Fang Rock. And The Beast of Fang Rock.
Oh boy.
Horror of Fang Rock was the better title in my opinion.
Oh boy. Such title.
So this script came about because it was a late replacement for a script that Terrence Dicks had originally submitted. That was a vampire-based tale entitled The Vampire Mutations, which was cancelled so close to production because the BBC were like, wait, hang on, we're doing a production of, we're doing like a real high-profile adaptation of Bram Stoker's Count Dracula, so we don't want, attention taken away from that with like another like vampire thing, so you're not allowed to do that.
Mm.
So they were told to hastily come up with another story, which Robert Holmes was very pissed off about, and so was Terrence Dicks. But Robert Holmes was just like, okay, do a story set in a lighthouse, something like that. You're like giving him ideas. But the initial story that he wrote, Terrence Dicks wrote, didn't go to waste. They ended up making it in the end, and we do get to see it in the 80s.
Ooh.
Specifically 1980.
Ooh.
So it does take a long time. But the story is based on Wilfred Gibson's 1912 poem Flannan Isle, which the Doctor does recite at the end of the fourth part. And also Terrence Dicks drew on inspiration from Ray Bradbury's short story The Foghorn, about an aquatic dinosaur which has survived in the ocean depths but is attracted by the call of a lighthouse's foghorn. Basically, it's a story about the lighthouse with a monster that kills people. Da-da-da-da.
Shocking.
It's pretty horrifying. Okay, what happens in the next part, dear?
I could never see that coming, honestly.
I know, right?
Well, time to go back and check on the ship, I guess. Leela, you do the siren stuff, thanks. Too bad when the Doctor goes to grab a rope, he hears some stuff, and he's like, Leela is enjoying the horn. It's fun, but the light comes back, and she's like, oh, God. And she goes to stand outside and sees a weird jellyfish. Oh, God. Meanwhile, rich people have washed up on shore, and one of them just really wants to get drunk. Leela tells the Doctor about the jellyfish. They go to check it out. Wispy hears about this and thinks they're fucking sus. He's superstitious, says it's the beast of Fang Rock. It's back. People died. Fancy people have one more person who stayed behind to secure the boat, by the way. Telescope and Leela head off to work. Rich lady is like, you make women work here? That's crazy. And then they are apparently headed somewhere in London, and Wet Dude is just a dick. He's going to be hereforth known out as a dick. Also, his name is Richard. It's not, but it should be. They also fucking abandoned all their sailors, too. So literal people died just to appease this dude. While downstairs, Leela hears something, and someone being dragged over the rocks. Telescope goes to tell the Doctor, I defend, says Leela, and the Doctor walks in and goes, don't worry about it, it's fine. Ben walks in, and apparently was in the ocean. He was studied for human anatomy or something. Bitchy rich man, Dick wants to go as soon as they can, and everyone's like, what the fuck, dude, we can't leave. Telescope is very huffy about everything. The Doctor lies about what happened. Blah, blah, blah. Rich man is a dick. He's why the boat crashed. They were going too fast. Blah, blah, blah. Telescope
wanted to go fast.
He did. To make money, by the way. Doctor realizes there's an electrical field outside. The rich people are arguing. Rich dude is, of course, trying to leave again. And is continuing to be a dick. Doctor worries about whatever creature, and everyone seems to be in trouble now. Doctor calls in and goes, hey, we're under attack. And Wispy and Telescope are talking again about the monsters, and Wispy goes to shovel coal. Dick is a dick yet again. And Leela goes, shut up or I'm gonna fucking kill you. And it's like, good, thank you. Go for that lady next. She's really loud. The thing that seems to be coming back, and the electricity is like, whoa, whoa, again. And Wispy goes into the coal room and then goes, ah. And that's it. Ah. Yeah, he screams.
I mean, he's dead.
He goes, ah.
Everyone's dead.
Ah.
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 Ooh.
Ah.
So, Patty Russell, the director, who we've seen come before, particularly did not enjoy her experience working on this story. Largely because she preferred the original script and didn't think that this hastily written replacement was good. But she was contractually obligated to direct it still. It wasn't a happy experience for her to film, though, because Tom Baker was pretty hard to film with, especially as a director. He basically would do whatever he wanted and had the essential idea of, like, I'm the main actor, like, we can hire a new director if need be, but you can't hire a new me.
Watch us.
Which kind of wasn't true. He was a little bit of a prima donna. He constantly, but Patty Russell clashed both with him and with Louise Jameson, because the facilities at the BBC studios where they had to remove the production studio to, were just shit. This resulted in her basically being like, okay, I'm never working on Doctor Who ever again. Like, fuck this.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't entirely blame her. But another thing as well is Terrence Dicks wasn't too happy with the way that Tom Baker delivered some lines in the story, particularly the one where he goes dead with honor when telling Leela of a certain person's fate. Spoilers, I'm not telling you who. In the episode, Baker, he kind of just rushedly says dead with honor, with no pause, but in the novelization, Terrence Dicks specifically changed from a comma in the script to a full stop to emphasize that there's meant to be a fucking pause between it. Which I love the sort of pettiness of including a full stop like that. Dead. But
With
we have
honor.
one more dead. So, what happens in the next part?
Well, the doctor runs downstairs and the door's open. Rich people are freaking out. Captain heads down to check. Captain finds Wispy talking and walking around in a trance. He's weird. Doctor and Leela are talking about figuring out size. And, oh, wait, we should just go talk to Ruben/Wispy dude. And Rich dude is arguing again. Because, of course, he is. Ruben is in his room. He's gray. It looks like he's electric now. Rich Dick is trying to convince Telescope he needs to call a boat and is going to pay him to do so. Jellyfish, by the way, is crawling up the side of the lighthouse. Leela is now locked the front door with something. Rich Dick is outside, sees the green light and some fog, and he's like, ooh, what's that? And then he gets fucking murdered. Great. I'm glad. Thank you. Could have happened sooner. More rich people arguing. Leela really wants to get into Ruben's room and is using the sledgehammer to do so. Doctor steals her hammer and they just kind of go, who's that? Rich lady is a bitch, by the way. Telescope is wondering what's going on and then decides to just burn the notes he was given to hide the proof. Rich people are very fucking angry and don't believe the doctor, so he's like, guys, it's an alien. Telescope calls down, the doctor listens. Oh, rich guy fell and died. Maybe. Leela and Rich lady are here to stay here and watch Wispy. Doctor brings in Rich man's body. Rich lady blames the military guy for it. He also destroyed the telegraph and put all their lives in danger just to save himself. By the way, the ship captain downstairs
He wants his honor.
Is confronted by dead Wispy guy. They get a call from below and the boiler is fucking up because the siren won't work. Go check it out. Ship captain's also dead. Also, we found Wispy's real body. So, that's not good. Doctor goes, oops, guess I locked it in here. It's maybe a chameleon werewolf thing. That's it.
Chameleon werewolf thing, we're all gonna die, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
Everything's fine.
So, in a particular scene where Adelaide, the secretary, screams, and Leela slaps her to stop her screaming, Louise Jameson actually did indeed slap her quite hard. But it wasn't, she did it without asking. The actress playing Adelaide was insisted that Louise did not hold anything back doing the slap.
Ooh.
So in that moment, she actually does get slapped pretty fucking hard.
Ooh.
Which I kind of like, because it's in the background, you can miss it really quickly.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of Louise Jameson, there is a scene in part 3 that was crucial to the behind-the-scenes relationship between her and Tom Baker. Because remember, at this time, Tom Baker was like, we don't need a companion, it's fine, I'm the star, we don't need someone else stealing my limelight, essentially. In the scene where he comes in carrying Palmdale's body, he constantly came in ahead of his cue, which upstaged her, on the grounds that this move was not what they had rehearsed. She insisted on 3 successive retakes until he finally came in at the rehearsed time. This apparently won his respect, and from the point forward, she claims their working relationship was actually a lot smoother. Because, she actually stood up for herself and was like, hey, don't be a fucking asshole. Also, it's not stated within the televised story, but it's in the novelization, and it kind of makes sense. You kind of don't really need it in the television, but it also kind of makes sense. The reason why Vince burns Lord Palmdale's bribe money following his death is that he's concerned that he may be considered accused of murder should he be found with the money. Terrence Dicks kind of was a little bit annoyed that it wasn't carried through on the actual story in TV, which I understand, but also it's not that important.
Yeah.
Also, this is a very unique story, and that it's got a horrible, horrible body count.
Yeah.
Spoiler. Everyone fucking dies in this. This is the largest body count, like, since the Pyramids of Mars, and that had a large body count already. Also, Robert Holmes was pissed, because, he was in an unforgiving mood, basically, and he went, as Dix was submitting the script, he was still annoyed at being told off by BBC about the whole, the wrong time period potatoes in the Time Warrior thing, if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the Time Warrior, where there was a Sontaran traveling back in time and there were potatoes that did not exist at that time?
Yeah.
People complained about that, and the BBC never kind of let it go for Robert Holmes, because he wrote the story. So he was like, listen, Terrence, if you're writing a story based in this time, you are going to do the fucking research to make sure there's no same mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Because he desperately didn't want it to... He was just so fucking annoyed at it, which, understandably, it's such a dumb thing to be annoyed about, but also, come on.
Yeah.
You should have known. But, yeah, what happens in the next part, dear?
Well, Dead Wispy, goes up to Telescope Dude and kills him. Leela goes, we have nothing to worry about, you're a Time Lord, you got this, and he's like, oh yeah, I am. You can't touch them, by the way. They're electricity. You can't get close to them. We can't fight them. But we can do some other stuff. So we need to go find their signal relay because he's calling for help. Leela goes to tell the rich people we need to fight for our lives. Bitch lady faints. Alien Wispy goes to his room to hang out. Doctor, by the way, hangs out the window to hide. Fake Wispy comes up into the kitchen area to attack Leela and defend. Doctor finds the transmitter, so there's that. Rich lady gets fucking killed. Thank God. So they finally find the lamp room and Doctor's plan, and he's gonna have a chat with the alien while he's like, I want to be my jellyfish now instead. Leela's doing the plan where they, like, bring out, like, the explosives. They're called rutans or whatever. They do metamorphosis things. They're losing a war. They're also going to they're going to occupy Earth, so they don't need anyone leaking that they're here. Doctor goes, I fucked up all your signals, also follow me. And then they light some fuses and all the black powder on the stairs explodes. And maybe it's dead? No, it's not. Might come back. They're from a cold planet, so fire sucks. Also here, we found this thing. It's a projectile weapon, so let's empty all our pockets. I also need a large light with a... if only they had a lighthouse. And also they need... some sort of crystal. Oh, if they only had a rich people here with diamonds. And Witch Roarman goes down to find some diamonds on the other dead rich people and finds a whole bag of them, a mustache. And then he, like, gives them to the doctor. The doctor's like, oh, cool, this one will work. Drops all the rest. He goes to pick them up and gets killed. Good thing we saved everyone, I guess. Now let's turn the lighthouse on for a bit while Leela goes to look at the goop. The big spaceship is on its way here directly, and the doctor turns the lighthouse back on and runs downstairs. Outside we go. We must walk quickly. Oh my god. Everyone is dead. Oh my god, run faster. Leela decides to look back at the explosion and thinks she's blind, and she's like, okay, I can't live like this. Kill me. And he's like, blink, you stupid idiot. And then they go into the TARDIS, and they go the swoosh away. Yeah.
So, the entire reason why Louise Jameson blinks, Leela blinks during it and looks back and sees the light and is blinded, is because, as we've stated before, she was only meant to be on a 3-story contract, and then they were like, actually, we'll just keep you as the companion. And she was like, okay, I'll stay if I don't have to wear these fucking contacts anymore. Mm-hmm. And they were like, okay, I
guess.
And so that's why it's purely production reasons. There's no story reason or anything as to why she does that. It's just to get rid of it so she doesn't have to fucking wear them anymore, which, I mean, good on her. She fucking got rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Contacts are awful to wear, especially for such a long shoot like that can be. Also, it's at this time that Tom Baker actually started his on-again, off-again kind of relationship with Sue Gerard, who was working as the editor for the serial. He broke off their relationship a little bit later, but then, went back and and they fell in love, and they're still together to this day. But that is the Horror of Fang Rock. I should note as well, the Rutans have been mentioned before. They've been mentioned as the eternal enemy of the Sontarans. They locked in combat. I do like the Rutans, and there are a lot of like they don't show up ever again in any story, television or like at all. They show up in audio and books, and there's some fun book stories with them. But this is it when it comes to TV with the Rutans. We mainly just get Sontarans. I wish we got more Rutans because I kind of like them, but also I understand why the Sontarans are a lot more popular and easier to write for. But Horror of Fang Rock. How did you feel, dear? How did it go? Did it tickle your fit? Did you get horrified? Are you scared? Do you need a blanket?
I never want to speak to you again. No, 6. I don't know. It was fine.
You never want to speak to me again.
There were parts that I was just like, why did that not continue? Why we could just skip this entire bit? Moving on.
It does really. The worst part about it is that it really does suffer from being a hastily like written replacement story. Like, it's a really neat premise. Like, it's a simple premise, but sometimes the simplest premises are the best like ones. Like, there's a lighthouse with 3 guys on it, and there's an alien that can shapeshift and is going to kill them all. There's a great premise for a story there. It's just they kind of rushed it a bit in order to get, just the story out, and it does suffer a bit for it. I wish it was a lot better. There are stories that do this sort of thing in Doctor Who better. There's a 11th Doctor story called Cold War, which is slightly different. It's not a lighthouse, it's a submarine. A Russian submarine. And there's an alien on that basically picking everyone off one by one. And then that one follows the sort of alien formula better, in my opinion. Plus there's David Warner in it, and who doesn't love David Warner? But we won't get to that one for a very long time, because there's a lot of stuff in between here and there. Yeah. So, you know what? That's not too bad. Season 15 is off to a good start. The next episode, however... The next episode, however...
More racism?
No, there's no more racism. Well, racism's ended.
Ooh.
Next episode, dear, The Invisible Blank.
Man.
No, not The Invisible Man. Close, though.
Alright, do I get a hint?
It's a relationship that one has to a person, but it's a noun.
Oh, that looks great on the EQ.
Great.
It's not. It's fine. It's just very long. Mother.
You get... No, not mother. You get one more guess.
God.
It's not a familial relationship.
God! I don't know. Friend.
Enemy.
Okay, well...
You were close. You went friend, but it's enemy. The invisible enemy.
Oh, shit.
A very special episode. I hope you like prawns, dear, and I hope you like shrinking down. And I hope you like dogs.
Ooh. You had me at dogs.
Yeah. Okay. Toad's not in that one, unfortunately.
The invisible enemy!
Okay. The Invisible Enemy. Next episode. Get excited, because it's a fun goof with a dog and prawns and shrinking down and left brain, right brain stuff. We got a lot of fun to go to. See you next time. Is there anything you want to say, dear?
Hello.